go there. So what if I told you this year, 2026, you're going to buy a brand new van? And then what if I told you you were going to spend over £3,000 getting it racked out? But wait, then I was going to tell you that whoever racked it out completely messed it up and turned the van into a disaster. At first glance it looks really nice, but we're going to go into it now. I'm going to show you a few of the things that I've asked for which haven't really been delivered to the satisfaction or the service that their online social media presence sort of makes you believe you're going to get. So this is more of an informative video of my experience, and to make sure that you guys actually do a little bit more due diligence than I did, because I bought the van literally same day. We got Rhino Roofing Jordan down in London to fit this lovely custom matte black roof rack. Probably one of the first vans, the Horizon van, with that roof rack on, because the kits don't exist yet. So pretty impressed with that. And then up north I managed to book in the rack to be fitted, the racking in the back of the van, the next week after. So in theory we were going to pick the van up on Friday, and it was going to have a roof rack, and it was going to be fitted in the back on Tuesday. So pretty much we were going to hit the ground running straight away and start earning money on this van, having it all kitted out. So what I wanted from my van was a lovely false floor. So here's the general idea. We're going to have a false floor on the bottom, van bolt and a wooden drawer next to each other, same on the back. Very simple, all in black X. The next bit was I wanted my bulkhead to be completely covered in wood, so I can put my pack out boxes on it. Now it was very important that I had a flat floor and that piece of wood on the back, so I can make the most out of my spaces. Now normally when I've had racking, or I've seen people have racking, it takes up way too much space, so I really wanted to use the pack out solution for this build. But I did go with 4 shelves for €8 crates. Now the problem what we've had is the shelves that have been fitted, they're all completely different sizes, so I can't actually put my €8 crates onto my 4 shelves, which is hilarious, but not really, considering this was a £3,200 van build. Obviously, you know, let's go into a bit more what we found. So one of the other issues that we've had is I wanted my fold out desk, I wanted that to be boxed in. So ideally what I wanted was a whole piece of wood across the back wall and this to be boxed in so I can still use my pack outs. But what's happened is they've just put like this little U shape in that moves, and I've had to use a cable tie now to stop this from falling out, because it falls out straight away. The van vault isn't secure, it moves. They've not fixed it to the floor, which is amazing when you think of it. And then the only other bit of shelving I wanted was, you can't really see it because we'll get into it, is I wanted 2 compartments for Cat 6 drums. But the problem is they've left so much gap. You could have literally come all the way down here and then had another mini shelf on the top if I was doing it myself. But yeah, as you can see, like, I can't even get Euro crates at the top, I can't get them in the middle. So that whole shelving bit, literally that's all I wanted was racking, completely useless. Now the next bit is, it is hard to tell because the van has got all my work bits in because we've been working, but the floor is not stuck down, so it's bubbling all the time. It's a bit easier when there's stuff on it, but Now one of the other issues that I have is when they showed me the van, it was 8 o'clock at night. Been there all day. So you can imagine I didn't get home until 2 AM. They make you sign a waiver. I'd been waiting in the waiting room for 5-6 hours. No drinks, no how are you. You don't really, so you don't really interact with the main person that you see online. You just interact with whatever van fitter you have on the day. All my silicon, where they've sealed it, it's all got sawdust in it because they didn't clean the van. When they opened the van and showed me originally, there was dirty footprints everywhere and it's full of sawdust. There was even sawdust on the passenger seat, which isn't great. Ideally what I wanted was these to be completely blacked out. Instead, they said they couldn't do that, so they've done this. But the problem is, when I slam the doors, these fall out. So I can't fix anything to them because the bracket's just completely useless. Told them that I wanted to put pack outs on the wall, but for some reason they said they had to box the walls out. So this is 250 out on both sides. You can imagine that takes up so much room, which is just not really what I wanted. I wanted everything blacked out as well, but they never bothered. They said they was going to, but they just didn't do it. I've got this lip here, which in the grand scheme of things isn't the end of the world, but if I want to put 2 of these crates on, that's the main thing I wanted on my false floor, I can't do it because of this. So that needs to be ripped out. Now that there is a tube compartment that they made for me so I can put trunking in. Now it was agreed that it was going to go on the right hand side because I informed them that I was going to have a ladder rack. But on further inspection, when I actually saw the van, they put it on the left hand side. So I had to rip it out as soon as I got home so I could fit my ladder rack. Which is weird, and to be honest, it fell out straight away because as you can see, this is on the ceiling. This is the thing that was screwed and riveted to the ceiling, but it was only held together with the square boxing with nails. So I literally just blew on it and it fell off. So any weight on there, or a lot of my area is quite rural and rough, it would have just fallen off within time. There was no way that was staying up for 2 years. Completely in the wrong location. And then the last thing I wanted was, I wanted these drawers. I wanted a black lock here, and I wanted some form of one action to pull the door open. Now there was some confusion on this. The week before when we made the booking, they said we could do it. We got there, they said they couldn't do it. Then they showed us the black hinges. Then they said they didn't have the rails for them. So for some strange reason, what they decided to do was just remove one of these yellow latches. Now, if you've ever had a wooden drawer with the latches, there's not a lot to grab onto, is there? So you've got to push it down and try and pull. Now the problem is, when it's full of cable, you can barely open the bloody thing. So that's absolutely useless. And this is a decision that they did without any consultation. Nothing. Didn't even ask. I wanted this with the rubber on as well. They didn't do that. I mean, so yeah. Overall, the general concept in its inception is good. It's working out well. I love the way that I've had the steps, so can put my roller and my big stuff like my Hoover and that down here, so I don't have to lift it all the way up. It's just the whole service and the finish just isn't up to that massive price tag that I paid, especially when there are local businesses near me that do similar things. So this is more of a warning to make sure that you guys don't just go with whoever you see online. Do a bit of investigation, because the problem is, well, the ones that did mine, when you look at their reels and their posts, everything looks pristine and spotless, and it's meant to be a truly custom experience. That's not the experience I had. They advertise that they put you up in a hotel, so they didn't. I've had to pay that out of my own money as well. The quote actually increased when we got there for everything I added. Now, I've showed you around the van. It's not that specialist, I don't think. It is literally a false floor with like 8 compartments here. Realistically, there's not a lot to what I wanted, because I wanted to be able to pull it all out and just pack it all out, basically, and just take out all the weight, because it's an EV van. Other things I asked for was these to be blacked out on the sides. It just didn't happen. I asked for a removable bike rack or bike mount so I can mount my push bike. in the back when because normally if I work away, I like to take my push bike so I can have a nice B&B and then just cycle in, or just go cycling when I'm stuck down somewhere. So yeah, but I just don't want you guys to be caught in the same thing. I'm not going to name the business, but you probably can tell by the type of racking or the type of way they've done it. You'll probably know if you're on social media who it might have been. But so, as I said, we bought the van Friday. We were meant to do loads of content on it. Literally, Wednesday morning, I'm loading the van up for work, and I'm literally in tears loading my van. It's meant to be one of the most happiest experiences that you ever do, is buying a new van and getting it all racked out. I could have racked it out myself. That's the most embarrassing thing. So yeah, there I was, doing my van, just literally in tears, putting my stuff up, putting my stuff in, going to work that day. I don't know why it affected me so much. I think it's probably because the expectation I had and the money I spent. It just doesn't feel like what I had anticipated. It's probably put me off ever paying someone to do my racking. So where does that leave me now? Well, I'm actually back up north. I sent them a video of the issues I had with the van, and fair play, within 5 minutes he gave me a call and they sort of arranged, they said I can come back up and do it. And they basically, I thought I was screwed because I signed the waiver. I think that's probably what overwhelmed me so much, because you sort of can't have your van back unless you sign this waiver. I mean, they'd hit the dash cam off the front of the bonnet and that was hanging. And I told the one guy, and he's like, "Oh, do you want us to check the cameras?" I was like, "What do you mean check the cameras? Look, it's hanging. It wasn't hanging when you gave it in. It's bloody brand new." So I was quite overwhelmed. But, you know, for me, it's like a 3-4 hour drive up here. So this is my second trip up, my second hotel. I have messaged them today saying I'm stopping tonight, ready for tomorrow. No offer of putting me up, which is annoying because they advertise that they put you up in a hotel. So I don't know whether I'm meant to say, are you going to put me up or not? God knows. So this is the day before, 24th. Tomorrow is the 25th of July, and this will be the rectification of the van, or the issues I've had in the van. So I'm not really sure how in depth they're going to do. I mean, to be honest, every time I look in the rack and I hate it, I'm not happy with it at all now. It literally has just ruined the whole experience for me. I know it sounds stupid. A lot of you guys that might watch this probably are employed and the van racking just gets done and you don't care. But when you're the owner and it's your personal vehicle or your personal work vehicle and you've invested, it's almost like a kick in the teeth, really. So my plan now is to hopefully get a bit of money back, potentially, and hopefully correct some of the aspects that I'm not happy with. But how far they're going to go, I don't really know. All I am going to say is we'll do another part 2 on this video, and I'll talk to you about what they've actually done, because you're not allowed in the workshop when they're working. So when they're working, you can't go in the workshop. And they don't really tell you of any alterations they do. So you've got no chance. Now, if it was my customers, we wouldn't dare dream of doing anything without consulting with the client, like putting the tubing on the wrong side of the ceiling. So now I've got rivets all along the ceiling on the wrong side. I think the worst part is we had to go to Trade Wars and went to Fix Festival. Had the opportunity to put the van on the Horizon stand at Fix Fest, and I declined because I was just too embarrassed. And then when I've showed other tradies, they've sort of made me feel like what an idiot. You know, no one's really had any good words to say about what I've had done. You know, especially when you've spent that much money. So we'll see what I can get back, see what they're gonna do. Yeah. But I'll leave you this question. Would you be happy with what I've shown you? I might not have shown everything in detail. You know, you might think I'm playing up to the camera. It's hard to see until you're in it, but regardless, I personally don't think it's up to scratch. these fall out. So if we slam the door, probably won't do it now on camera, but this literally, how am I meant to put a pack out plate on this if it falls out like that? You know, I shouldn't have to alter and adjust my van racking when I've paid so much for it to be done. If I'd have known I'd have to adjust it and play with it and do all this sort of stuff, you know, I just wouldn't have bothered paying someone to do it. There's been no actual point, is there? So yes, this is the night before. We go back to them tomorrow to see what they rectify. I mean, at most, what I really want is to have the wall done. I want the racking fixed. I think, and the wooden jaws, I want that fixed, and I want all the silicone redone at the very minimum. And then obviously I want a bit of a refund. That's my happiness, because I'll be honest, once I've got the funds, I'm probably going to rip all this out because I'm not happy, not at all. Yeah. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Have I been ripped off? Is £3,200 way too much for this? I don't really know, because I've never paid. Well, I have paid, but I've never paid before for my van racking. This is the first for me. I've always done it myself. I'm 36 now, so in my 20s, I've been building vans, loadouts, 16 years now? Never spent this much on it. I think that's what really upset me the most, because, you know, it's meant to be a happy experience. This is an achievement for me. This is an amazing achievement. It's a lovely van. Absolutely love this electric van, and I'll hopefully show you some more on it soon once we've got this ordeal dealt with. But yeah, stay tuned for part 2, where I show you what they've done to rectify the issues that I've highlighted in this video.